Hey guys, Ryan here, and I just wanted to shoot a quick video to address what happened at WAL 502 in Baltimore. So we are back home finally today. It is the Sunday following. You notice I'm sporting a bit of a sunburn from being outside, touring around, checking out Washington, D.C. So big thanks to the World Arm Wrestling League for bringing me back. You also could probably hear that I've got a bit of a cold. Got a little bit run down over the last few days and got sick for the first time in a long, long time. So I'm dealing with that, but that's not a big deal. So as I recall, I'm going to give you my insight into WAL 502 because this is without rewatching anything. I mean, the only thing that I've seen are some other people's takes on the matches. So from the start of the event, all class, they treat us extremely well at the World Arm Wrestling League. Match number one, we got treated to Paul Lynn versus Paul Talbot. Now that was a crazy match that while trying to focus on my match, I got to watch from the balcony of the event, and to see Paul Lynn look pretty dominant. Paul Talbot, though, he's a fighter. He came back and won one match. But man, it was good matchmaking. But Paul Lynn is looking like he's making great strides forward, and I can't wait to see what happens next for him. And Paul Talbot as well. I mean, he's going to fight. He's going to come back. But both of those guys will be around for a long, long time. Now, match number two, I don't have a lot to say about it because at this point, I'm backstage and I'm getting mic'd up. And it's Angie Rose versus Michelle Dugan. So all I hear is matches starting, crowds cheering. So in person, it's very difficult. You can't hear what the commentators are saying. You can't hear what's happening. And then I hear that Angie has won it 3-1. So I have no other insights into that match because I have not seen a video of it. I understand Michelle took match number one and it looked dominant. And then Angie Rose got it together and came back and won like we know she can. So good on her. Match number three, my match with Jerry. So we'll keep that to the end. And then we'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the video. So match number four, we're going into the co-main event now. We got Sam Harris versus Jeff Hale. Now that match was insane. Like, Jeff Hale comes out, gets 2 victories that looked fairly easy, and I thought, okay, he's running away with this. It's going to be a sweep 3-0. Sam Harris digs deep, puts on the brakes, manages to come back in the next 2 matches, keeping a nice high hand, establishing a position, and kind of just holding it there and eventually winning those matches. And then, of course, we're left with the controversy of match 5. Who would have won? You know, my logic would have said that if there was no fouls in that match, probably the way it was looking is that Sam Harris was going to win that match. We don't really know that because it ended on fouls. So I can see these guys, hopefully not right away. I don't want to see the match right away happening again, but running through a few more guys and then colliding again for the title, for the hammer. And that would be an amazing thing to see. I would tune in and watch it again. And congratulations to Sam Harris for retaining as hammer holder. Match 5, we got Matt Mask versus Todd Hutchings. Now, Matt, I know maybe wasn't as event focused at the start of that match, so he didn't come out breathing the normal fire that he did, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I just don't think he didn't look like he was as fired up as we've seen him, but he came out, he did his thing. He's got that tall arm. He established hand control right away, which we knew that was going to happen. There was no surprise there. Todd Hutchings commits to the most crazy break arm side pressure position that you can imagine and pulls through Matt 3 times in a row. And it was nuts. He looked incredibly powerful with the side pressure. And I don't know if I can offer you any more commentary other than there was a pin that was missed, I believe. However, that would have simply made it 3-1 in my opinion. Todd Hutchings looked really, really good. Now, let's talk about me and Jerry. I knew that Jerry was coming in as the favorite. I knew he was going to be super strong. I knew where he was going. There was no secret to any of this. I heard all kinds of comments like Ryan doesn't have the courage to commit with his shoulder. What the hell is that? Like, I don't have the courage to commit with my shoulder. Well, let me tell you what happened in match number 1. I hit, not hard enough. Jerry puts me in his position, and I'm holding on. Now, I'll give you the overall of the 3 matches. I end up in the same position, slightly bettering my position off the start each time. Now, match number 1, Jerry does his move, and that's driving forward. So a combination of Jerry driving forward and me trying to establish control by coming back and also sliding from the top corner to the back corner of my pad led to what Ryan Bowen calls the world's worst elbow foul. Well, it's not just on me. I had some help. Jerry was pushing me off at an alarming pace. So my elbow comes off. I shoot it back on because I know that it's a running foul. I don't know how bad a foul has to be before it's not a running foul, but I get back on the pad. Jerry comes off. So when there's a second foul and it's the other guy, the match stops and it gets restarted. So that's what happens. So match number 1 gets restarted. We're in the strap. I try to come in with my arm to try a different path, and my shoulder goes pop, pop. Did not affect the outcome of the match. There's no excuses here, but I knew that the pathways were closed. I had one option, and that was to keep trying to get high on Jerry and pull around him. I was in the position where I was getting my bicep drained, and I've heard commentary that you weren't patient enough. I heard commentary that you didn't know what to do. Wrong and wrong. When you are in that position and you have your foot, the pedal to the metal, but you feel your gas tank emptying, you don't have the virtue of patience. You cannot sit there. The tank is emptying quickly. You have to try something. As far as not knowing what to do, when the pathway is closed and there is one left, there is nothing left to do. Jerry showed an incredible amount of patience in that he was waiting for me to make a mistake, knowing, and this is from Jerry as well, knowing that his position is more economical and is not going to burn out, and waited for me to make the mistake. So I had 2 options: try something or sit there and just get completely bled. So I opted to try something. Coming in a little bit gave him the leverage and position he needed to get the pins. So hats off to Jerry. I think you probably could end up to being the hammer holder at the end of this season. I hope you are. You definitely felt stronger than you ever have. I came in heavier and bigger than I ever have, and you deserve that win. As far as what's next, I hope the WAL brings me back for another match. Sticking me against potentially the strongest guy in the whole league is great, but it's not how I want it to end. I still want an opportunity back in the WAL. So there was a question asked, is Jerry just stronger? No, Jerry is not just stronger. His position is a nightmare. His primary move is a nightmare stylistically for just about everybody. Just about everybody. And if he was given opportunities to avenge some of his losses from recent times, I think he probably would. And there's only one guy, I think, last season, that was Devin. But he beat Michael Todd. He beat Matt Mask. Jerry's no joke, and he's in shape, and he's super strong, and my hat is off to him. So thank you for the match, and time for me to heal up and get ready for whatever is next. Now, if the WAL calls, I'm there, but I'm also going to Nationals in July, so I will see you guys there and look for more regular postings. We kind of took the week off because we were down there in Baltimore, but there it is. That is my recap of WAL 502.